Is there a lot of abuse, violence, intolerance, and inhumane action taking place in society? Most people would say yes. Why do people act as they do? People act according to how they perceive themselves and their reality. How do people gain a perspective of themselves? People basically form perceptions of themselves through belief, observation, and analysis. Are you implying that theistic religions are to blame for our abuse, violence, intolerance, and inhumane actions? We cannot blame an inanimate, non-living object or concept. We have to be responsible for our own actions. Nothing will change if we constantly lay blame elsewhere. How much of the world is based on religious foundation? The majority of humanity base their particular religions upon a foundation of theism. At the time of this writing, Christianity, 1.9 billion believers. Islam, 1.1 billion believers. Hinduism, 0.8 billion. Non-religious, 0.8 billion. Buddhism, 0.3 billion. Atheism, 0.3 billion. Total, 5.2 billion. World population, 5.7 billion. In the year of our Lord, 1998. But I believe in theism, one caring, intervening, tolerant, compassionate God, an eternal soul, a God that sent his only Son, a God of justice, etc. Do I have to change any of that? No. Destroying beliefs, faiths, and religions is not a process of addition. It is a process of destruction, and that goes against the concept of a universal philosophy, as posited in symbiotic panentheism. Do we have to change religions in order to change people's perceptions? No. We have to add to the foundations upon which religions are built. A great deal of abuse has come about through technological advances such as atomic weapons, biological research, etc. Should we stop this abuse? Absolutely, but we cannot stop abusive actions by trying to stop learning. The inquisitive nature of humanity goes to the core of who we are. We have to stop abuse by changing what we think of each other. Science provides the understanding of the concrete aspect of our reality. Is science to blame? We cannot blame our behavior upon what we have learned regarding what is, for what exists in reality exists. Nor can we blame our behavior upon the inherent characteristics of our species, that the characteristics of curiosity and awe. Philosophy provides the logic, the analysis explaining our existence. Is philosophy to blame? Philosophy can only work with what it has available. Logic can and must flow in an orderly, sequential manner. 1. Atheism. The causative force or God of the universe has no size or is non-existent. 2. Pantheism. The causative force of the universe and the universe are the same size. 3. Classical traditional theism. The causative force of the universe is almost all present, for although the causative force is bigger than the universe is outside, not inside, the causative force. I would add that perhaps this gives more sway and room for Satan to exist. That would be an adversarial force. 4. Panentheism, the causative force of the universe, is truly omnipresent. The universe lies inside the causative force. The universe is a part of the causative force. This, then, is the beginning of the model. If panentheism states that God is truly all-present, omnipresent, what does the universal philosophy model of symbiotic panentheism state? Symbiotic panentheism states that the causative force is truly omnipresent. Therefore, the universe is in the causative force. In addition, we need the causative force, or God, and the causative force needs us. What does symbiotic panentheism do for us as individuals and as a species? Symbiotic panentheism helps us understand where we are. We are inside the causative force. If we are inside the causative force, it would only seem logical we have some interactive function with the causative force. Symbiotic panentheism says the causative force needs us just as we need the causative force. This, I would add, is also the model of what is known as process theology. Symbiotic panentheism says we are inside the causative force and in a symbiotic relationship with the causative force of the universe. This is a perceptual shift for humankind. With a change in perception of what we are will come a change in behavior. How will behavior change? With an elevation of what we believe we are and what we believe others are, will come an elevation of how we behave towards ourselves and towards others. This improved behavioral change will be generated not by destroying what we have, but by adding to what we have. This change has to be one of addition in order to elevate behavior. A change of subtraction, destruction, annihilation, elimination of what we have would diminish behavior. Therefore, the change must not be one of dismantling, but of adding. What needs to be added? We need to add a meaningful significance to ourselves as beings existing in a limited, temporary form. Is this complicated? It is very simple. It has to be simple, or it is not valid. Complexity is a characteristic of a lack of understanding. The ramifications and intertwining intricacies generated by the model may be difficult to follow and untangle, but the core idea, the concept, must be simple.